everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am taking you guys with me to go apply for my passport. Basically, I am switching careers and switching gears. I'm actually going for flight attendant instead of doing dentistry. Personally, I have my externship at a general practice slash pedo orthodontics. So, kids braces. And that was my externship. And it was just, I knew that I didn't want to do pedo. I knew I didn't want to do that because I knew it was going to be children. And I had already worked as a dental assistant before I graduated college. I was already working. And I was working for a general practice. We had 3 doctors. 2 were right-handed, 1 was left-handed. But because they were all family members, they all looked similar to me. And it was hard for me to figure out who was right-handed, who was left-handed. So I spent a lot of time, and this was like a daily pet peeve for them. I'm like, are you left-handed or right-handed? And when this happens, you have to pass them the instruments a certain way. And I had worked there from September of 2020 to my externship in February of 2021. It was weird because that wasn't it's okay. So basically I knew that I didn't really want to do dentistry anymore way before my externship. I didn't say anything because, like I said, there are 9 different specialties, meaning there are 9 different parts of dentistry that a person can go into. That was just general practice, which means, you go in, they just do, fillings, sealants, crowns, a couple of tooth extractions, but just everything general, like a general practice. Working in oral surgery, it's mostly just tooth extractions, wisdom teeth, basic. But it's weird. I had so many aspects of what I wanted to do in dentistry. It's crazy. I had first had my eyes dead set on being a prosthodontist assistant. I liked the idea of, basically putting in $1 million smile. You know what I mean? Someone comes in completely edentulous. They have absolutely no teeth, and then you just restore their teeth and give them a brand new smile. And that's what I wanted to do. But the more I learned about exactly what my role was going to be, the more I kind of set back. And it's crazy. Oral surgery was never, and I mean never, my go-to at all. We would, read and learn about it, and you would see these videos about, demonstrations on how everything works, and it was just a lot. And I was like, I would never want to do that. And that ended up being my career. It's weird because honestly, I had been wanting to get my passport just because, my husband and I, we love traveling. We want to travel everywhere. But flight attendant was something I had been thinking about, you could say, for the last maybe the last 2 years. I was thinking about it. And I felt kind of eerie because it was like you just graduated college and you just finished things up there, and now you want to switch gears. But I'm turning 25 this year, and I feel like when you want to do something, just go ahead and go for it, and then you'll figure everything out after that point. And for me personally, I like flying, so it's kind of a win-win situation for me. I think personally, I would tell anyone, dentistry is a lot of fun. I learned more about my teeth each day, what to do, what not to do, and it really helped me. But some of the reasons, because everyone is asking me, what are the reasons? Why are you leaving dentistry? What is it? What's so bad? What's so wrong? Nothing's bad. Nothing's wrong. It's just there are things that I just feel like, okay, I'm gonna give you a whole example. And this is true. This is not even really example. This is real life. Basically, and this was for every practice that I worked at, every single one. It didn't matter if it was oral surgery. It didn't matter if it was externing with the children, for braces. Basically, they want you to be a robot. They want you to get in there, get the patient's information, get them seen, whatever you need to do, and leave. Okay? I don't work that way. I talk to people. If you tell me that your dog died, or a family member passed away, or something has happened, I'm gonna be sympathetic. I'm gonna have empathy. I'm not the type of person to sit there and be like, that's crazy. Okay, the doctor will be right in. No, dude, like, I'm a human being. And if you are the type of person, ooh, scared me to death. You guys seen that little jump I just did? He just like turned right into me. Not the ambulance. This was just the other person. So I'm the type of person, I show empathy. So you can't do that in dentistry. Literally every office that I worked at, when the doctor says, especially, that's why I don't like general practice at all. You go in general practice, one person has, 2 temporary crowns that you need to make. The second room, it's a child. They need 3 sealants. The other room, they need 3 fillings, and you need to be there with the doctor and whatnot. The thing is, everything needs to be done very quickly. So if I go in, and not to mention, let's throw a tooth polish in operatory 4 too. So you got 4 things that need to be done, 4 different patients. Your job is to go in, get out, and be done really quickly. I work fast and efficient, but at the same time, I don't want to say I get carried away, but if someone is talking to me, especially, like I said, I'm not a robot. I'm not, I'm an empathetic person. So if you tell me, something has happened or this is what's wrong, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, like, what happened? And I've had a lot of doctors sit there and tell me, oh, we don't talk to the patients, just, hurry up and get them out. And a lot of people have told me I'm just working for the wrong practices, but 3 times is supposed to be the charm, and it's not. So yeah, let's move on. I feel like that was like one of the biggest issues, because what will happen is the doctor, you don't want the doctor to come in, you don't even want him to come back in once, or her to come back in once. So if they leave you to do a polishing, right? You're supposed to polish the teeth, get in, get out. If they come back and like, hey, are you done with that patient? You're supposed to say, yeah, doc, they're gone. They're out of here. All right, let's get to the next one. If they come in a second time and you're still not done, just know it won't be forgotten. So basically, I'm the type of person, you're talking to me, we're talking about something, especially, like I said, these people don't just come in and be all happy. They come in, this happened, that happened. It's kind of rare for me personally when someone comes in, they're just like, happy life, everything's great. They'll normally come in, like I said, especially in oral surgery. We've had people come in, they've had a tooth that's been aching and killing them since 85. Mind you, it's 2022, and you've had a tooth that's been aching you since 85. You know what I mean? And they're like, I just got my life together, and I'm just now, able to get this tooth removed and stuff like that. And it's an emotional thing. Teeth bring a very emotional meaning, good or bad. If the teeth are, bad, of course, it's a down emotional. They get them fixed and right, it's an emotional thing, especially if their teeth have been, edentulous, they have no teeth at all, or, just a lot of decay or whatever the problem is. Teeth, I've seen a lot of people, break down. We kept tissues in the room for the tears. So it's not easy to see someone, tell you, that they couldn't afford to get this tooth out or whatever was going on, and you're just like, okay, the doctor will be right in. Like, dude, I don't work that way. I just don't work that way. I'm a Cancer. We do empathize with people, especially when it's a sad case. Like, come on. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't prosper fully in dentistry the way I wanted to. Another issue, this is only with children, really, but we still saw children in oral surgery. Still, you see children. I I think the youngest patient that we ever extracted teeth on was like maybe 12. She was having problems with her wisdom teeth at like 12 or 13. But that was just for me like that. There's younger, of course, but this is just my experience. And what happens is that, like, and this is for general practice too, when it comes to kids, not for her particularly, but like little kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, you have to be assertive. And I'm not assertive. Like, I'm not good at being assertive to children. I'm the oldest. I have 4 younger siblings, and I have a 9-year-old brother, and I would never want someone to be they're not aggressive, they're just assertive. You know what I mean? Like, first they'll try to, if that's why I always tell my mom or any parent, be there in the room if you can. They may not, especially with COVID going on, they may not allow both parents in the room, but try to see if you could get in there, especially if they're under the age of like 10, because to my understanding, what I noticed is that, like, if the parent is there, of course they're going to still get their job done, but they're not going to be so assertive. I've seen how, I had a patient, it was my patient, right? They're like brothers. They're like maybe like 5 and 7 or 6 and 8, one of those. I'm not too good with kids' ages. But long story short, we were doing x-rays on the kids, and one of them kept moving his head back and forth. Like, they're kids. They're kids. They're full of energy. The mom was like right there. So, they're like, my mom's right there. You're not going to do anything. And so we took them and put them, because this was my first office too. This was my first office. They had the 360 scan would just go all the way around the head. And we took them there, and that's not where like the parent can stand right there, because radiation's like, you need to go around the corner. And I couldn't handle, he kept moving, and when it comes to x-rays, you have to be very, very still. He was moving, and then I was still super new. It was probably like maybe my second week, or maybe my 3rd week. But long story short, I told the lead assistant, I'm like, hey, you want to get some candy, you have to make sure that you stand still. And they were like, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have to be assertive. And I'm like, assertive? And they're like, yeah, you're gonna have to really, because children, they will run you over, especially if they're just those type of, some kids are like more, I don't know what the word is, more, I don't know what the word I want to say. Some kids are more easier to work with than others. They weren't bad kids or anything. He kept moving back and forth, and I'm like, stand still. And as soon as I leave to, snap it up, he's like, and you'll see it right on the x-ray that's not right. And long story short, she came in, and all I heard, like, her tone was super assertive. Like, if it was my child or my little brother, I would have had a problem. But she was like, you're going to have to stay still, because if you don't, we're going to have to keep taking the picture over and over again. And like, it was like super, super assertive. And I know, like, I feel like I said, for me personally, I just can't. So I already knew that I wasn't going to be able to handle, working with children personally, because I'm not assertive. They're going to run right over me. And she told me, she was like, if you're not assertive, they're going to run right over you. You're going to keep doing it. And remember, everything, and this is not just in dentistry, every job I've ever worked at, it's time. Time is of the essence. We don't have a lot of time. Everything is limited on time. Something that's supposed to take maybe 10 minutes at the max is now taking 30 minutes, because you got to keep, this, that. It took me a couple of minutes to figure out who I needed to speak to, basically come in and take my patient. And they hate doing that too, because they have their own patients. They have their own doctor that they're assigned. And you're just sitting there, calling them out of their what they're doing to help you with your job. So it was already proving a point that I couldn't do my job. And that wasn't the case. It wasn't that I couldn't do my job. It's just that I can't be assertive to children. They're children. Like, I don't know. First she was just like, you need to be assertive. And then when I was just like, huh? It was like, yeah, no, I'm going to handle this one. But like, you need to get it together. like right then and there, I knew that dentistry wasn't really going to work out for me. But that was my first office. And like I said, that was before externship. Because remember, I was working there, then I had to do externship. Then I got hired at 2 more places. One was one was oral, and then one was general. And it was a lot. And honestly, I don't regret it. I love, knowing that I am well educated in dentistry. But for the same purpose, I feel like, how it's like you gotta just take it as it comes. The only thing I wish I would have probably done different in dentistry, I kind of wish that I would have tried like prosthodontics. I wish I would have tried it. I didn't even try it. I was just like, you know what? Nah. It wasn't even difficult. If I would have known, because I didn't know that I was going to end up doing oral surgery. If I would have known, I would have definitely, switched gears into there like I wanted to in the beginning. Even now, I don't know. I liked what I did. I love my patients. It was just, you don't work with your patients. You know what I mean? I would tell anyone, you don't work with your patients. You work with the doctor and the other assistants. So those are the people that you have to see all day, every day. And I think the problems that I was having, like, I try not to focus on the problems that I'm having within the doctors or the assistants, because, you can go anywhere else and, be probably better or whatever. I focus on telling you guys the issues I was having within dentistry itself. Working with children, you need to be assertive. You have to basically be a robot. Can't really talk to the patients, because the doctor's going to pop in. He's going to be like, are you done? And you're like, no. And they're like, what the hell? It's just a polishing. What's going on here? They expect you to be a robot. Doesn't matter what the person says. Goes in one ear, out the other. I don't work that way. So no, it wasn't going to work for me. I talk a lot. And the person talks back to me a lot. And I listen a lot. And I have empathy. I am sympathetic when someone is, telling me something, especially if it's not great. And then what else was like a reason, an issue as to why? I think another thing is maybe just, I don't really want to put this one in there because I feel like this is something to do with the assistants. But I did notice this at every single place that I ever worked at, even my externship. If you don't know something and you ask, and they tell you once, and then you ask later on in the week or the weekend. And remember, I was working as a dental assistant way before I graduated college. So when I apply somewhere and I work somewhere, they already see that I've had experience dating back to 2020. And it's now the middle of 2022. So basically, I noticed that if you ask something once, then you ask a second time, middle of the week, it won't be forgotten. You know how they say, like, someone that points out your shortcomings, someone that points out, any flaw. In dentistry, people love to point out your flaw. And it's weird. I think it's super weird. I've worked everywhere you could think of, and I have not had an issue like that before, where people are just pointing out your flaws left and right. You ask for, Dr. Box needs a rongeur. And it wasn't that I didn't know the instrument. Like, that was not the problem. My problem was I didn't know where the instrument was. There's like a million cabinets and drawers, and some are labeled, but they're like hella lazy to me, because instead of putting every single instrument labeled on there, they will only put like 2 or 3 instruments on there. They're labeled. And I'll be like, what is, the wrong juror? And they'll go find it because they have to. We're in a time limit. There's a patient in there. And then they'll go in the hallway. Bethany, Diamond does not even know where the wrong juror is. I literally had to walk her in there. Can you believe that? And then they'll go on and they'll tell another set and they'll go on. They won't let you live it down. And I noticed that in every office that I worked at, they don't let you live it down. I've worked at fast food restaurants and it just, something happens, you forget something. They give it to you. Yesterday's work, not today's work. And all of a sudden now it just feels like it's super, like, I don't know, it's like maybe they're just hella bored. That's what my husband was saying. It's like, in that type of industry, in those type of places, it's boring. You may have a couple of patients, you may have a little downtime, and that's what everybody loves to do. Everybody loves to just focus on something that wasn't even that funny or wasn't even that, it wasn't that serious. That's probably why I was telling you, it wasn't that serious. But that was like a pet peeve for me because, like I said, you have 1 million drawers, cabinets. Everywhere I worked at, 1 million drawers, 1 million cabinets, and they just failed to label. And I worked at one practice that didn't even label it all. They didn't even label it at all. They would just be like, oh, it's the top left on your bottom right. I'm trying to think of what are the reasons. I think I'm more excited to get into my new career more than anything because that's another thing too. I think that's another thing. And we talked about this while we were in school. Benefits, right? So everybody wants the best benefits, If you work somewhere, you want health, dental, you want, paid vacations if possible. That's never really possible. You want a 401k plan. You want to make sure that you get all your sick hours, sick days. I worked at a private practice once, and of course there's no benefits. It's like low pay, no benefits. Wasn't going to work out. I think those things are really important. So now I'm going to have to do a part 2 on this. I feel like that's going to be super important. You guys let me know in the comments if you like the whole driving with Diamond experience. And we'll do some more videos of me driving, and we'll do some more stories because I kind of like this. Like, I'm always shooting in my house, doing the videos in my house, and I feel like, you know what, let's go on this adventure. To apply for my passport, it's going to be $181 for the full passport to go internationally anywhere in the world. And then I'm doing the large book. I forgot how many pages it has. You have the regular and you have the large, but it's recommended to do the large because, that's what flight attendants do. They travel everywhere, and I want to be able to travel everywhere. And there's more benefits in it. Like, we fly a lot and stuff like that, and so you'll have a lot more benefits, So yeah, basically, if you guys want me to do more videos, just let me know on me driving because I like this. I could get down with this. I have some business to attend. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.